Sensitivity is intelligence. With grace and skill, you have abundance. Welcome to the Psychic Hour. Host Kelly Brickle is a psychic medium healer, numerologist, and teacher. Her passions are learning about the soul and energy. Whether it's through spirit, emotion, or vibrational numbers, there's always a pathway of information waiting to help. Now, here is your host of the Psychic Hour, Kelly Brickle.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to WLTK-DB, the Psychic Hour, on Let's Talk Radio. It's great to see you. Happy Valentine's Day to everybody. Hello, everyone coming in. Keith, B, Aspen, Kara, and Facebook users. If I can see your name or not, hello. It's funny how settings go, but hello. It's great to see everybody. And we have Cheryl on the show today. And so we're going to be doing like a fun version of the interview series. We're going to be doing some interview and some readings. So at the end, towards the later part of the show, you can actually pop down some of your questions and we will be taking readings. So we're going to be doing a hybrid show, which is awesome. So yes, the topic of the day, we always start with a topic, a spiritual inspiration, and we dive right in. And really the concept I want to bring forward is that of letting go. And we talk about surrender a lot when we work with spirit. We talk a lot about, being in a place of openness, right? Being a place of allowing something bigger than ourselves to guide the way. And I think that's very important, the way that our entire spirituality with our faith is navigated. Okay. Not saying we have all the answers with how faith should go or how spirituality should go, but there seems to be a huge correlation with being guided when it comes to living your life by a higher force than just yourself, right? And allowing that trust, that trust that you're going to be okay and that you're aligning yourself with something that is benevolent. When you have connected to what you believe in. So letting go is really important, I feel, because we break our patterns from letting go. When we're gripping onto life, or when we think we have a certain way or belief, or we think like, okay, I have to do this to get the results, we find ourselves repeating because we're like, this is the way. And I know within my own spiritual development and also psychic and mediumship development, it served me at times to just walk away. It served me at times to just look at things in a different perspective, or it served me to go, hey, I'm still very much passionate about this, but I have to spend a little bit more time on family. I have to spend a little more time on school. I have to spend a little bit more time maybe with emphasis on like friendship. And yes, career and work is always going to be in the forefront, but sometimes you're putting heaps of energy into certain categories in your life and you're not reaping different benefits. So that's why it's nice to have different teachers sometimes, or to develop in a different way, and to have different experiences in life that help produce that. Like, traveling. I know that's just like very generic sounding, but traveling, when you travel the world and you get exposed to different cultures, different socioeconomic situations, and you go, wow, I didn't know people lived like that, or I didn't know that was a thing. You start to open up and you start to have different symbology and understanding the way the world works. And thus you're going to read differently. Thus you're going to problem solve differently. Thus you're going to communicate differently. And all of those lead to an evolved individual. And sometimes within channeling, you can just go under, and you don't actually have to have a lot of references or have a lot of conscious work. Like, people just go under sometimes and they access who they are in past lifetimes, or they access certain skills that they've developed before. And so you could have a very actually innocent person, unexperienced person, or even a young person channel just amazingly profound information. But then the other side of spirituality, the conscious side, where you're really developing who you are and your understanding and stripping away the constructs that life has given you, of you are this race, you are this gender, you are, of course, that's the body we've chosen or the experience of family you've chosen, you could argue, before you've come down to this life. Some people believe like in contracts and they choose what they need to spiritually experience, but the gender and the race and certain situations, certain relationships, whether it's soulmates, breakups, or successes, or all that stripped away, you're left with energy and understanding of what brought this to me. To what capacity did I choose it, right? To what capacity did I need to learn that? To what capacity did that break me open enough where I go, okay, I didn't love it, but I might have needed that. Or that person helped me build something within myself that was long forgotten. Sometimes with the most oddest situations, whether they're good or bad, things can restore your confidence. Situations can restore your fire. Situations could take away your fire, right? And whether it's on or off, that fire, that mojo within you, you're going to learn something about yourself, because the eternal is just constant, but the humanistic experience is very much up and down and left and right. And you go, why am I this direction and why am I that direction? And it leads you more to your power, your center, and understanding of why you're so affected and reactive to the things that are around you. If you know your power, if you know your light, if you know your mission, if you know your passion, if you know your purpose. And it gets quite complicated, right? Because we forget a lot, or we do need reminding, or sometimes we do need light shed on it by other experiences. um it's not all just us. That's the big thing. Our spiritual development is not just us. It's very important that we are on board. It's very important that we are uh signing our intention to understanding our unfoldment. It's very important as we develop ourselves and we come to a point where we know what's happening to a certain degree, like, wow, like life is happening for me, not to me. And um, I'm going to lean into that and I need to continue to learn. And I'm welcoming what's coming my way a little bit more. I'm scared maybe, but I'm welcoming what's coming my way. And so, yeah, life really does change when you let go. And I do think that ultimately it's a pattern breaker. Like life is about expansion, and you can't have the same thing when you have expansion. You just can't. Think about the universe, all the millions and billions and bigger than billions, like infinity, trillions and infinity, a googleplex of stars. Um, it just keeps going and going and expanding, and everything about it is quite fantastically different. Like, it's not robotic. There's so many different variations, and same with your soul. Like, we mirror the universe, I feel. Um, we're a vessel of the universe, so we are made to expand, and we are made to have so many different choices and experiences and thoughts and feelings. So lean into what will allow you to let go, to surrender your fear, and try something new. Rewire your brain, rewire the way that you approach things, and life will meet you differently. And it's going to give you the other side of the coin, which is very healing, very helpful, and it can only produce an opening of energy. And that's what you want in life a lot of times, that opening of energy, ready to go. So, with that said, I'm going to say some hi to people and then we're going to pop back. So, hello again. Yes, hello. Aspen's talking about, just explain to my partner how I really enjoy your lives and content and see you as a mentor. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, Aspen. That's like a fantastic compliment. Thank you so much. Um, Yes, and people are happy about Aspen's happy about the replays. Hi. Hi, Myra. And yes, thank you, Keith. Thank you. So, hi, anything for me today from Spirit? So that the Facebook user just asked, we're going to be doing readings a little bit towards the end. So pop back in and ask away, okay? Um, uh, yes, hello. With that said, I just took the check within everybody. Check within and say hello. And yes, absolutely, Keith, for sure. And that's how we do it. So we'll pop back and we will see you in a few, and we'll bring in Cheryl, and away we'll go with that. Take care. See you soon.
Looking for a holistic solution? Look no further than LimestreetWellness.com. Lime Street Wellness is a full-service Reiki therapy center offering in-person and distant Reiki sessions. Additionally, Lime Street Wellness is committed to helping clients co-create healthier outcomes with hypnosis, QHHT, and intuitive advice. Lime Street Wellness is committed to helping all that are seeking to co-create better health, peace of mind, and greater freedom. Reiki Master Kevin Mackey uses energy medicine, hypnosis, mindfulness, and intuitive guidance to assist in uncovering, understanding, and removing any blocks or energy cords or mental mindsets that may be intruding and causing needless suffering. Visit Lime Street Wellness today at LimestreetWellness.com. That's LimestreetWellness.com.
Hello, and we're back. Hi, let's bring Cheryl in. Hello. Hello, Cheryl.
Hi, Kelly. I love listening to you. It's great to be here today.
Oh, thank you so much. I love listening to you too.
Thank you.
That's why you're on.
Really, it was so inspirational, it's just, and it's so perfect because I too talk about those things of surrender, and how important it is to let go. So, I mean, it's almost synchronistic, you have to pay attention to the synchronistic signs, right?
We
From the
we
spirit.
really do. And
Yeah.
your energy very much is like this gentle you how can I put it? There's like this passive surrendering quality to
Mm.
your energy where you observe, like you really listen to people, you take things in, you just are very present, and that takes like this gentle, welcoming surrender. So it's very much a part of your energy too, the way I feel from you at least.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Kelly.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I want to make sure everyone gets an introduction with who you are.
Yeah.
So I want to let people know that Cheryl Murphy, who we have with us, is a spiritual medium, psychic, and co-host of the show See Beyond Living Transformed on WLTK-DB. She frequently works with others on air within group readings or healing prayer circles, helping people connect to their loved ones on the other side. And you can catch Cheryl's show with Kelly Eckhart's on Wednesdays, actually right after this one, not far long after.
Not too far away. Yeah.
That's right. How have you been?
I have been doing great, thank you, and I wanna say hello to your audience and just thank you so much for having me on today's program.
Absolutely, absolutely. We're gonna have fun. We're gonna do some readings in a little bit, but first we're gonna catch up. And
Yeah.
really, every year is so different.
Mhm.
Sometimes with the work we do. So, what do you find that you've been doing in the new year, with
Right.
readings or your intention? What energy
Mhm.
has really been meeting you?
This year, 2023, from what I've been sharing with others, it is kind of that call to action. And it's about stepping into your own inspiration or stepping into what you're inspired or passionate about. That this year, more than ever, is more important, so to speak, but it's even easier because, we're in the year of the rabbit, which I'm also a water rabbit. So I am, it's my year. But it's the year of calmness, but it's also the year of openness. So it is about kind of for people who wanting to start their own business or a new relationship or, whatever it is you want to launch in your path. This is a great year to start. It's kind of great to, put the seeds, plant the seeds, or at least open that door and take action. So this is a great year once again of inspiration is what I want to share with people. This is a great time to kind of put yourself out there and really do things that maybe you've been hiding from, or maybe passions that you want to do. What's on your bucket list? What's on your to-do list? What would you like to pursue? This is a great year for that energy to help support you. Yeah.
And if I may ask, since you are a rabbit, what is the energy of the rabbit to you?
Well, the energy of the rabbit, so I'm a water rabbit, and that is we are in the year of the water rabbit. So water is emotional, right? So water is about being sensitive, being emotional. Rabbit energy in general is about calmness, it's about community, it's about being curious, it's about, family or community. So it is about supporting one another. So for me, the water rabbit, it's about kindness overall. It's about kindness and sharing, really the softer and but stronger qualities that we have. It's not so fierce like a lion or a tiger. It's more of a soft, compassionate energy that really people should even maybe feel a sense of grace entering their life this year. That would be wonderful, right? If we all had that grace and a little bit more compassion. And I think, now that I'm talking about it, Kelly, I think listening is a really nice, compassionate quality to have too. If we could just maybe listen to other people's opinions or perspectives, and take that into consideration when working together or learning about one another. Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah, it always helps to listen. It always helps to listen.
yeah.
Um, the balance of exchange is needed, but the listening is powerful.
And listening to others, but listening more to ourselves. And so when we all, you and I were always, suggesting to meditate. We're always suggesting taking a few moments out for each other, for ourselves every day, listening to our own internal clock or our own internal feelings, listening to our bodies, listening to our minds. If we have a lot of clutter up there, we need to take that time to create space. And I loved what you said about letting go. Because letting go creates space, right? Letting go creates opportunities, and that's how we shift our energy. And it could be letting go of an old thought, an old belief system. It could be letting go of, like I mentioned, decluttering. We could declutter our closet, or it's things like that. It's about creating space in your life. And however we can do that, we're shifting the energy. It's kind of it's that law of cause and effect. When we do one, the other one happens on our behalf.
Absolutely. And shifting energy is where it's at. Y- Then life doesn't happen to us, it happens with us, right?
Yes, it happens with us. Yes. And it happens for us.
Happens for us. And we're very much um, having always the opportunity to return to our own power and
Ooh.
yeah, yeah, to find out about that. It's like you have to become an alchemist of sorts,
You really
right?
do. There's power in the compassion, there's power in the listening, there's power in the creating space for yourself. There's power there that once again we didn't know was there because maybe we were too busy or distracted. So the year of the water rabbit, it's about understanding that, we're moving into this whole nother level, this whole deeper level of opening up to our individuality and realizing how important it is to express ourselves and how important it is that our thoughts and opinions matter and our dreams and desires matter just as much. And so creating that and manifesting that. I loved it when you talked about traveling. You mentioned traveling at the beginning of the program because it's so great to be well rounded or to have those experiences that open you up and may take you out of your comfort zone, right? I love that.
Yeah, you've actually traveled, oh gosh, where did you go? But I remember you went with, Allison, and you were with elephants. Where was that? Where in the
Mhm.
world did you go?
Gosh, we went to India. We
Oh,
went to
that's right.
India right before the COVID. We actually were in India, Singapore, in that area as COVID was, so we got back right at the beginning of February 2020, which everything started right around that March. But, we had such a fabulous time. We learned so much. We met people from all over the world, and the culture was so gracious and such a loving trip, and we learned more the need, the animals just like we all need help. Animals in this world need help too. So we were so blessed to be able to go support a nonprofit such as Wildlife SOS. So for anyone that wants to support that organization, they save elephants, they save tigers, bears, animals of all kind, and they are in India, and they are very devoted, and they work much more than 24/7, it seems like, to try to help these beautiful animals. Yeah.
Gosh. Yeah, when it comes to animals, it's just it opens my heart so much, that work, because their autonomy is completely different than humans' autonomy with what, they enter with situations and environments sometimes. So people standing up and, really looking out after others in that
Mhm.
capacity is just remarkable,
Mhm.
remarkable.
You never know. We never know how we're affecting other people's lives. If we can just create kindness with one other person or one other animal, trying to help someone in need, that just creates that ripple effect, but it also grows and expands, right? So when you help one person out through kindness or through some generosity of your own, that really does ripple out, but it grows. It grows because it reaches more and more people. So it's just such a beautiful energy to create and to manifest, and that energy never goes away. It's always there. And if anything, it's maybe building our world from the inside out, creating our world from the heart outwardly. That would be nice, right?
I think so. I think, powerful and even subtle energy, it can be contagious, right? Because
Oh,
we're
gosh.
sharing this vibration or pattern, and someone just takes it on whether they know it or not, and sometimes they know it and they're like, this is fantastic. This is wonderful. Right?
Yep.
And wouldn't we all want to be more of, the creators of that energy wave where people go, "What's this? This is wonderful. This is fantastic. I'm gonna continue to do this." Right?
You got it. So true. It's so true because when we help others, we it's almost like answering that higher calling. Like, it feels better to give than to receive, so to speak, because it's like, "Oh my god, I'm answering a call that resonates more with who I am," right? So you're more of that giving, or how we can be in service to others, how we can be a contributor to this community, to our planet, to Mother Earth. So there's all sorts of ways. So when I go out each day in my errands that I run, I always ask myself, where is an opportunity for me to be of service, right? Where can I give today? Where can I be there for someone, whether it's opening a door or just sharing a smile? It's almost like it is contagious. I know what you mean. Yeah.
And that's really powerful. I know that sounds some in some perspectives, it sounds like, "Oh, you're just putting out that intention. That sounds nice." Well, actually, it's incredibly powerful because you don't know how you're gonna be met with that, and sometimes you don't even know with what you're doing how much that person needed it. It's
Right.
just like you're being guided by faith, and it's not
Truly.
until, like, it hits you across the head with how thankful or appreciative someone is, do you get it, and is that really what, is that what you sign up for, just to hear the appreciation and, "Oh, I needed it so much." No, you do it by how you're guided. So, it's kind of funny how powerful it is, and you don't necessarily know always how powerful.
It is, and life is hard, life is hard enough to where when we need that ourselves, when we're having that crummy day and someone, expresses a word of kindness to us, we just have to imagine or remember back that, it does feel really good, that it means something, that we're being seen. So, it goes around. We're all in some transformational state, moving around this world. And, when you feel good and you have that high vibrational level of compassion or wanting to express love, please do so, because there's plenty of times where you and I are going to maybe be stuck sometimes, or we're not going to feel that way today. We're having an off day, so to speak. So, really, it is about being in a transformational awareness and knowing that, everyone is in a different place. Everyone's on a different path. And look, let's just kind of support and be there when we can, as much as we can.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Mhm.
Someone's talking about um, they try to compliment a stranger whenever a thought comes to their head. Usually it catches them off guard, but either way, they try to compliment a stranger whenever they're out. So, Cheryl, when you've started putting this intention out into the
Mhm.
universe of how can I, help somebody, or how can I be a vessel, or even before it transformed into that, like, did you feel like an awkwardness or an anxiety putting yourself into that place with people?
That's a great question, Kelly. Sometimes it is awkward. Sometimes it is a little uncomfortable, but I have to say it's almost like I am learning how to be more of myself in the world. I'm learning how to, express myself to the fullest. And sometimes, if I'm not used to it, or if I'm in a different situation, it is a little awkward. But what happens is you kind of fake it till you make it, or you learn what works with you, what works for
Yeah.
you. Right.
Yeah.
So it's not about being fake. It's actually about being more authentic. And
Yes.
I got to tell you, being authentic is kind of awkward if you aren't used to doing it.
Yeah.
A lot of us, we hide behind the masks. Hey, I'm just going to go to work and do my 9 to 5, or, hey, I'm just going to go out to dinner in this restaurant that, I'm very uncomfortable in. But when we take the mask off, we realize, hey, there's probably a lot of other people in this restaurant. Maybe they'd rather be home on the couch or whatever, be with their family, watching a ball game, so to speak. But it's about learning that you're not alone. I really want to tell, because there's a lot of people who feel that they're alone, or they're sad, or, they feel that they're the only ones in that situation. And through your podcast, Kelly, which I know you reach so many people, and what you talk about, and you're very inspirational. And what we both do as mediums and intuitives, as psychics, we try to share that. We try to help empower people to their own authentic capability, their own authentic, original, beautiful spiritual enlightenment, or their own light within.
Absolutely. I know. So I actually, you're inspiring me to talk about kind of like two streams. So you just let me know which one you're most excited about. So on one hand, it's like the personal power portion, where as a psychic medium, it is your responsibility, I would imagine, mostly to really self-develop and understand the self. So you can guide people with their journey, with the capacity of self-awareness and consideration, and wisdom. Right? That's really important to activate your own personal power before you try to guide others a little bit. And then in another way too, so you're talking about how sometimes being authentic can be awkward, and that's okay, right? I know that still to this day, a lot of times, and I'm okay, like I'm actually comfortable feeling awkward. I know that
Mhm.
sounds like a contradiction, but it's real.
That's
Um,
good. I like it.
with
I love it. Yeah.
yeah, but it's so true, right? You get it. You really do get it. I appreciate it. And during a reading, or sometimes even in conversation, but during a reading, I will know as I say something how, let's say, difficult it is inside of the person
Mhm.
for, like, let's say, the subject to be talked about. And so their anxiety will fill me, and I'll be like, okay, this is a tough one. Or I know as I'm gonna say it, sometimes you might your mechanism to deal with this is to reject it. So I have to be very strong within this, but just empathetically understand the difficulty in this at the same time.
Mm-hmm. I love what you said, and I hope everyone's listening to how pivotal or what a watershed moment it is when you talk about the personal power and about how we really need to kind of address our own stuff, especially if we're going to be a medium or a psychic or intuitive. But we have, because if we bring through information that maybe we went through ourselves, it may trigger us, into some emotional, where our energy goes more to our emotions rather than to the spirit world or for the person we're working across from. And an example of that would be like if you grew up and as a child you had a bicycle accident. But maybe it's just one that you remember and it really hurt, and maybe you were by yourself when it happened, so that just adds more to it because you're young and you're scared, you're hurt. So, but you want to grow and develop that, and you want to heal that part of yourself that has that memory or that really knew how strong you were to get up and take care of yourself and go ask for help. But now, if that information comes up with someone you're working with that may have also had a bicycle accident at that young age, you want to make sure you've kind of dealt with your issue around it or your understanding of how brave you were at that young age to get up and brush yourself off and go ask for help. So otherwise we can really get entangled or really not be that clear channel for that other person. So that's one example, but it is something that you address right now, Kelly, to people, is that being that medium and that psychic as we are, we really do have to look at our own personal stuff. Getting help, dealing with our own stuff makes us that much of a better uh, channel, a clearer vessel, so to speak, for spirit to come through. So important. That's really not talked about enough in the field of mediumship. So thank you for that.
I no, I appreciate. Thank you. I appreciate that insight too, because yes, I do feel like people are definitely more supportive of emotional understanding and development and time on the self, and psychological health and well-being and all of that when we are reviewing who we are is so important and looked at with the development of self. And I remember growing up, and even sometimes now, like I'll just sit in my room for a really, really long time and people will be like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, I'm getting stuff done."
There you
But it
go.
looks like I'm doing nothing, you know what I mean? So it's like, "I apologize, okay?" Like, if I have to be a team player and do something outside of my head, just remind me, I'll be there, but sorry, I was actually doing something, you know?
Yeah.
I was reviewing my life. I know that sounds very narcissistic, but it's very helpful for others. I know that sounds really weird, but it's true.
No, it's true. And taking that time like you do for yourself and sitting in the silence, or connecting with your own guides and angels helps us. It helps us, right? When we take that own time for ourselves, that's what self-development is. It's like you as a person and your enjoyment and your healing ability to help yourself or to hear messages of inspiration from your own spirit team. I mean, it's very empowering to be a medium and a psychic. And for people who are not a medium or psychic, but we can teach them how to connect to their higher guidance system. That is, I mean, it's a miracle. It's an amazing ability that people have, and it will bring so much comfort, so much reassurance, so much self-esteem or self-confidence, and letting everyone know that yes, they are on the right path. Yes, this is working for them, giving them some tools. So really connecting with your guides can be part of your self-development. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
There's so many different aspects that you can unlock, and it's really important to look at different avenues because for one person, talking to their guides might literally open up their mediumship and they're like,
True.
I don't feel alone anymore. And I feel like I'm always protected and I feel like I have an access point. And for others, they might be like, okay, my guides come to me in meditation and I feel like they ground me. So it's just certain choices can be so pivotal, like so incredibly pivotal, but everyone is so different with what pivots them.
Right, right.
I know for sure when I first started my development, guides were incredible. They're still important to me, but I talked with my guides like all the
Mhm,
time. And it
mhm.
was so important to me. And I actually do want to go back to that. I feel
Yeah.
like there's been a depletion of that. And I've
Mm,
looked at other things in my spiritual development. I've been much more, I guess, psychic based.
yeah.
And so when I was more mediumship based, I did a lot of guide work.
Mhm. Yeah.
So
And
do you find yourself go ahead, go yeah, please.
yeah, yeah, and, oh, I love what you said about spirit guides and, guardian angels, and people always ask me, "What is my guide's name?" Or, "Help me connect to my guide," which I'm happy to do that. The name part, though, I'll help sometimes, but sometimes, I feel people should get the name on their own of their guide.
Yeah,
And I always say, even if it's a name that you like, that you've always loved your whole life, whatever name that is, or it's a color that you've loved your whole life, that could be the name of your guide. The names, like, for example, let's just say I've always enjoyed the name Mary. Let's just say that. And even Judy, I will tell you, Judy, I've always wanted to be called Judy ever since growing up. I don't know why I love that name, but I love it. It turns out one of my guides is Judy, but I didn't know that
oh,
till I got,
wow.
later in life. And I even have a guide named Betsy. And it's even names that you would never think of. It's also color. Some people have that a color that can be a guide if they love the color
Mhm.
blue or they see the color blue everywhere. It could be that could be some type of communication between them and a guide also. So guides are sometimes come in human form. They come in angels. Sometimes they're in animals, right? We go talking about animals. Some animals are guides. But we all have guides, just to reassure people. We have guides with every every thought, every wish we have a guide there to support us. So I would just say, please keep asking them to come. For anyone that's asking for a guide or wanting to know their guide more, please sit with in meditation or write down a question and see if you can't ask them, invite them in, invite them to be closer, invite them to blend with you and maybe give you that insight or that inspiration to where you feel you are connecting with them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
invite them in, absolutely, and I do think that's important for you to have experiences where you are even if like, I'll use the word trying, even if you're
Mhm.
trying to come up with a name, to have that experience because you need to have some type of personal like,
Mhm.
this is I feel like they feel like this, right? You need to have some of
Mhm.
that personal connection, and it's great when someone tells you, but I think, like, you yes, there's aspects where it's like you have to explore it, and it's like, the more you work with them, the more they'll correct you if they really want to, sometimes they don't want to, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
I there's this, there's a story, I think it's in, like, Lisa Williams' book too, like, her first book, and, she had a name that she assigned for her main guide, and, then one night, like, a voice spoke to her and said, like, "Actually, my name is this. You've been calling this,
Oh.
actually, my name is this," and she was calling him that for, like, 10 years, I believe, so you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't significant to be right away, "Okay, you got my name wrong." It was just about the connection, and then it evolved if it needed to.
Yes, I love it, and really to call them whatever you're comfortable calling them. But she got the ball rolling, she started initiating that connection and that communication. That reminds me of a story, if I could share, about my
Ooh,
guides, because I didn't even
please.
know my guides' names, and I still call them my guides. But I was driving in the car, I was running an errand, had the windows down, it was a beautiful day, and I'm kinda having some questions, I'm having some reservations, right, just about life in general, and all of a sudden, I hear my angels call out to me, and they said, "Watch the magic of the universe." And as they said that, not only because my windows were down, this breeze came through my car. It's as if times almost stood still or slowed down, but this beautiful breeze came through the car where I felt like that was them. The hairs on my arms stand up. I'm hearing them. I'm like having this amazing experience just out and about running this errand. but I really allowed myself, what I want to a takeaway from this is to give yourself that time to connect with them. I mean, talk to them anytime you want to, right? Ask them for help. That's what they're there for. They're there to help and support us. So for me, I mean, I still, remember it to this day. It happened, a long time ago, but it was so real, right? It's so real and validating for me, right? Right. And so that's what I love about connecting. And so, yeah, thank you for encouraging people to kind of find their own way of connecting and making it real for each one of us, for them. Yeah.
But it's amazing. I love that you bring up the guide work because it's amazing, and you will have moments like Cheryl says that make the hair on your
Oh
neck
my gosh, I
or other
know.
places stand up. We're like, what? That just happened?
Yeah.
That just happened. Um, let's see some comments really quick. Jennifer, oh, what a lovely comment. I found this talk radio about 2 weeks ago. It has made a huge difference. I am more confident and grateful. Thank you. Oh, that's awesome.
It
Like,
is.
that's a dream to read stuff of that nature. Thank you, Jennifer. And Myra says, my spirit guides have been my spiritual teachers. Yes.
Mhm,
Yes. Absolutely. They'll send you things in meditation that you're like, where did
mhm.
that come from? Okay.
Yeah. If I can just go back to Jennifer for a moment, only because I have to agree with her, Kelly. I mean, your show, listening to you talk this morning, I mean, this is a whole nother level you're on, girl. I mean, it resonates so truly to your heart, and I think that's what Jennifer feels, Kelly, is that finding your show probably just went right to her heart and to her soul, where she's like, "Wow, I feel this familiarity, or I feel something happening. I'm feeling drawn to you." Because your talk this morning, I mean, truly connecting with spirit, so for everyone listening, Kelly, you are definitely even connecting with spirit in your beginning of the program. You just come right into it, you just connect right away.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I mean, they're definitely helping me. I just go, "Hey, what do we wanna talk about?" And then they come in and I just start talking. So,
Love it.
it's like, in a funny way, we can't take credit almost in a way for what comes out of our mouth, you know what I
True.
mean? But, my heart is absolutely in it, and so thank you so much, Cheryl, for
Yeah, you're welcome.
not noticing, but feeling it.
Well, I
Thank
just
you.
want to put that out there that it's definitely incredible experience. I was waiting backstage and I'm listening to you going, wow, wow. I mean, this is amazing, the synchronicity of what she's talking about. So, if for anyone that's just joining us, I mean, go back and listen to the beginning if you missed Kelly's intro, because it was just wonderful.
Oh, man. Cheryl, you're awesome.
Yeah, thanks, Kelly. Thank you, Kelly.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
I'm gonna read Jessie Cat's comments and then we'll go into some readings. How about that?
that would be great. Thanks.
Thank you. Jessie Cat says, last week, finally, my main guide came to me and he didn't have a name, just Chief. He was a chief of a tribe. He had a beautiful crown of feathers. Had a beautiful crown of feathers. Yeah, I think that's what it is. That's amazing. That's wonderful when you can actually like see them,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, look how much information she just shared with us. The name is Chief, so and what he looked like, and that beautiful crown of feathers. I mean, really, you're rocking it. And so, I would say go back into your meditation, ask to even see more of Chief, or ask to see greater detail of that crown feathers. Ask if you can. Ask him why he's with you. Ask him maybe how long he's been with you. Ask him what he's here to teach you, and maybe ask him how you can connect. So it's not a real hard Q&A. It's almost just like putting that thought out there, or that invitation out there of all those questions, and then just see what happens. You're just opening up yourself, but look how much information you got. That's incredible.
Oh, I love it. I like how you're
I love
talking
it.
about it's not a hard Q&A. It's like it's not like an interview
Yeah,
process,
it's
but
not like an
it's serious.
interrogation, yeah, or anything,
Right.
it's yeah. It's not like 20 questions, but it is about, creating a relationship. So however you would create a relationship or
Yeah.
meet someone for the first time, for example, like, you wouldn't ask them a lot of questions, you just get to know them. That's what I mean. Yeah, just get to know them.
Like having tea with grandma. Like
Yeah. Oh, I love it. I love it. I can imagine that.
awesome. Okay, cool. Let's jump into readings. Let's do it. Let's open up the energy. And is there any specific readings that you kind of want to focus on more so, Cheryl?
No, I'm just trying to feel everyone. I mean, I would just say if they have a question to just maybe make a more specific question, like, for example, Casey is saying, please read me. I would say, Casey, could you just kind of give us an area of focus, what you'd like that area to work on, whether it's, career, relationship, or knowing your guide's name, or, maybe you have something happening that you'd like some validation on. That'd be great.
Okay. Okay, that'd be awesome. Okay, so everyone, let us know you want a reading. That's how you consent, and then that's how we go to your energy, and we will do it like that. And I'll be doing some numerology too, if
Ooh,
anyone wants their numbers, and then you can play off that too. Like
yeah.
whatever the question is, we'll play off with our own modality. Okay.
Okay. Oh, that
Okay.
sounds great.
Yeah, it's fun. All right. So, oh, and to let you know, Cheryl, I'm just gonna grab whatever I feel, and
Yeah,
then I'll
definitely.
give it to you, and then you can grab whatever question you feel. Okay.
All right, great.
Okay. So let's see. I'm gonna go to.
There it is.
Okay. So Tiara Mace. Hi, ladies. I'm open to any readings regarding my dad, Pedro, if you have time today. Okay. And so Tiara, were you looking for mediumship love with that? If she's still here. Okay. If you're looking for mediumship with that, just let me know. Okay. So we're gonna open up the space. Okay, so regarding your dad, what I immediately feel is just concern, a lot of concern, but a lot of love. And so I think that the relationship between you, it's especially one's in concern of the present, because throughout our life we have these different levels of connection with our parents and what they mean to us and how we understand them. So I'm looking at like right now, and I see very concerned, very connected to him. So the relationship actually has more intensity now, if you can understand that. And I do believe that it is a time of a lot of healing around that and a lot of trust around that. I do think it's almost like you have this capacity. So forgive me, I'm going a little psychic with this. So
Mhm.
just bear with me. I do feel like you have this capacity to like um when you really love someone, you want to like take care of them, or you would almost like take a bullet for them, right? Like you want to take away like pain from people, or you're so concerned that you want to guard people, right? And so with your dad's experience, like I do feel like what he's going through is something that is a part of his path, and he's actually okay. And to just surrender concern about if he's okay, right? So
Mm.
that comes into just the forefront. um I keep seeing like all these like plants when I look at this situation. So like plants for me are about like growth and healing and becoming stronger. And I do feel like that is a sign for you to be more grounded, but that's also a sign to know that everything is blossoming, everything is on track, and actually your life is becoming profoundly more positive. Even though this is kind of like a large area of concern, if you can validate to your life actually has gone through so much healing and evolved so much that this has actually been quite a positive year, and a lot of energies have fallen away to help to assist this. So everything's going in a good and helpful motion, and just to put more stock and faith into that. And that's really what I'm getting, and it's like a more psychic hit. But Cheryl, if you tune
Yeah,
into
yeah,
her as well, or you can just jump to another person,
yeah.
whatever style you want to do.
I'm gonna tune into Tiara too, and, And she says yes, by the way, Kelly, so that all made sense.
Okay.
But then I want to get to Casey afterwards. But Tiara, you know what I felt for you is that it's almost as if patience is really important for you right now with your father. It's as if you're circling back around to be a support or being there for him, not saying that you have to actually even do anything, but just being there and showing his presence is very, very helpful. I also felt, Tiara, that your spirit guide's name, that there's a Sarah. So I don't know if you like that name or, maybe someone named Sarah, but I felt like it's more maybe I felt like it's more of a name that you like. But I want to tell you there is a strong request from the spirit world for you to practice grounding more, and that's grounding to Mother Earth. So, putting your feet on the ground, going for hikes or, exercising. It's about connecting with nature. So just keep that in mind, Tiara, but I hope that was helpful.
Connecting with nature, yeah, that's definitely coming in. Like, I'm just seeing like green and like these
Oh, yeah.
roots and like golden sunlight. I'm like, what is that exactly?
Yeah,
Sometimes I go, what is that?
you were seeing the plants, right? Yeah, so plants were really important for her. That's great.
Really thick roots. Okay, you're up.
Well,
Who do you feel?
yeah, thank you. I saw Macy and she did kind of get her question narrowed down a little bit. She asked about spirit guides with the direction of the hawk because you're getting the hawk, Casey. And I love it that you or that you're even noticing that you do have a hawk energy or a bird energy. So, what I felt around that is I do feel hawk is a spirit guide for you. It's an animal spirit guide, but it's using the energy of the hawk. We have to ask what does hawk represent? And hawk represents like looking at things from afar or looking more objectively, right? The hawk, he stands at the top of the tree branch, so example, and he tries to see the bigger picture below. And I feel like you're being asked to do that also. I also feel with you, Casey, that in some way you're being nudged and you're not, and you're resisting it at the moment. So maybe you're feeling a nudge to start doing this type of work of learning how to develop your intuition and your abilities, your psychic or mediumship abilities. And I just feel hawk energy kind of nudging you, saying, follow me, follow me. So if that makes sense to you, Casey, please leave a comment below. But that's really what I'm getting for you. Is there something about movement with you and moving forward?
Absolutely. When I see the hawk visual,
Yeah.
just feeling it and
Yeah.
her mention of it, a lot of times people who are very connected, so it's just taking me back to this reference too. Um, a lot of times people who are very like sharp, very
Mm,
like
yeah.
um, agile with their mind, they connect to the hawk. And so the hawk totem, really, for me, when I see that for people, it invites them to let go with their mind and soar. So to
Mm,
use their mind in a very different capacity and to understand like the genius and exploration of how the mind can take shape and connect, but it's in not the logical, analytical, cerebral way. So it's like invitation for a journey or a meditation where you just soar
yeah.
and you're gonna get so much. And that's a side of you that is really calling to you.
Wow. Yeah, that sounds fantastic. I mean, Macy, if you understand that, please get back to us in the comments because, I love how you explained it, Kelly. And, it's about kind of opening up that mind and opening up the ability, to even know things.
And I think it's just like it's just waiting there, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's see. I'm gonna choose.
Casey says, can I just say, Casey says, yes, it makes sense. I lately have seen the hawk and I am like, not you again. I'm going to pretend like I don't see you and la 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 la. And it keeps get more and more apparent. So that's funny. That's hawk energy. When we keep seeing it, it's like, hello, it's me again. I'm
Hello,
here to
it's
help
me.
you.
Yeah, it's not a bad thing. Don't ignore it. Does it scare you a little bit? It's a good thing. It's like encouragement. It's a lot of people sometimes feel alone with the weight of the world, and you have a guide literally saying, I'm here, I'm here. Like, just discover with me why I'm here. Like, let's do it. So it's actually a very gentle invitation, and that's amazing that you have somebody with you on the path. I think that's great.
Definitely, Casey. Yeah. Okay. Can I ask you a question, Kelly? Just because you're in numerology and I've what does 2023 hold that you found out? Like, what's 2023 holding for us? Because we're still
So
in the new year, really. I mean, we're just a month in, a month or two in here.
very true. Yeah. It's the world vibration of 7. And so for individuals, we're all going to go through different things because we all have individual cycles. And you could say that with like countries, even they all go through like a different archetype that year. But the world year, everyone on earth experiences it. And it's the 7. And the 7 is all about going within. So it's
Mm,
actually made to be a quieter year where not as much busyness happens. There's a lot more self reflection. And there's a lot more time where like plans break or things kind of shut down around you. So you do have the time to go within. So, and it's also a slower year on purpose. So, a lot of spiritual development, a lot of questions within consciousness of people come into the forefront of who am I? Why am I here? Why am I living this life? So,
mhm.
tremendous progress actually is achieved this year, but on the inside, and a lot of spiritual awakening kicks up.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah. I'm curious how it's going to play out. I'm kind of keeping my eye on like world numerology is something that I'm always kind of like learning more of. And
Mhm.
I'm learning how to put my pulse on that more because I specialize more in individual numerology. But I'm seeing how the world is going to reflect that. I know that next year things are going to really hit the fan though, because 8
Wow.
is like it's truth and consequence. So,
Wow.
and it's like politics and law and stuff like that. So some
Yeah.
things might go down next year that are actually quite pivotal. But this year it's kind of be like a slow build more so.
Yeah. I love it. I love it how you said that. Thank you. Thank you for
For sure.
answering the question.
And 7 can involve, like, secrets too, because it's so, like, to the heart. It's so,
Mhm.
like, it's 7 is, like, a very mysterious number, it doesn't like to show its cards, a
Mm.
lot of inner workings, so there could be stuff building this year that, like, let's say, governments don't really wanna share about, and it hits the fan next year, you know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Mhm.
Like, so
Mhm.
I could go on and on, but,
Oh, yeah,
like
no, well, no, that was great. Thank you so much. Thank you.
absolutely. Let's see, let's take Jonathan, currently trying to navigate a new beginning. Think I'm done with my karma. And then he has a big smile, like almost a laugh as he says
Uh-huh.
that. Not sure if I'm on the right path.
Mhm.
I'm trying to navigate a new beginning. Okay. So I'm getting a lot of flower and plant visuals, but actually I see something that is likened to a lotus when I'm tuning into your energy. And it's like this blossoming and bursting. And it's a very like red and pink and white flower. And so when I see red and pink and white together, it actually is a symbol for me, letting me know that someone has actually a lot of qualities within them that make them a well rounded person. Even, let's say, if initially you didn't start with it, you've gotten to a point where you consider yourself a more well-rounded person because you've worked on yourself. Like the red's really grounding and the pink and the white are like more like spiritual, like high vibrating. So you're within your mind, you're within your reason when you go about the world, but you don't listen or look at the world at face value. You don't look at the surface of life. You listen to your emotions and your heart. And so honestly, you can cultivate so much within that power, within that balance within yourself. So the first thing I see when I talk about that is I see like all these pockets of darkness, all
Mm.
these pockets of darkness. And what they represent for me is, there's people around us that struggle, or there's people closest to us within our family that have gone through a lot. And sometimes, I mean, we share energy. So our spiritual awakening is very much influenced by the light and darkness of others around us. And so there's some of the people still struggling around you, but then you just notice that in general, people within the world are still struggling. And I do really think you're in a place of balance within your life where you can start influencing other people for the better. So that new beginning is you stepping up as a leader and even as a teacher or even as a volunteer with your time and your energy to help people for the better. I actually think your mind and your heart is in a place to actually really start doing that. And you're going to find a way how that connects to you.
Wow.
That's what I'm getting. That's the new beginning.
You know what, Jonathan, and Kelly, I mean, Kelly started talking, going in. I mean, I was getting that last part of what you were saying exactly with Jonathan about being in service to others, Jonathan, because that will take you, you know, to the path like nothing else will. It's like grease lightning there. Like try to find ways to be in service of others or, you know, give back, so to speak, or how you can contribute or volunteer, whether it's your time or anything that puts you in that type of energy of charity work. I'll say that because I just want to add, because I felt so much light around you, Jonathan, and so much hope. Like it's almost like you have this big dream and it's just getting ready to show its light or something. It's getting ready to show the direction to you. But you do want to slow down and just take a breath, take a break. You have a lot going on. Step into the energy of giving back, or how can I volunteer? What can I do to help others, being in that service feeling? And I just feel like things are going to start clicking for you, Jonathan.
Absolutely. And I liked how you talked about like grease lightning because it made me feel like the reminder for him just have fun, right?
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
dance and just be
oh,
like
yeah.
I don't know, it's like a musical number sometimes the way we're guided by spirit, right?
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
like this feels fantastic. So it's just yeah, get involved with things that light you up like lightning,
I
right?
like it. Yeah. Perfect. Great. Great. Cal, I love it.
I love what you said. Okay, you get to pick who's next.
Okay, let's just see here. I did feel Kara Sampson, but I don't know a question. You haven't really asked a question. Would you like a reading? Do you want to type something in? She was reading 725 in numerology. Let's just go back, scroll back up. But Kara, do you have a question we can answer for you? And then Jonathan says, "Oh, this is so me of late. Thank you so much."
Oh, awesome. Thank you, Jonathan.
So is it Kara Sampson? If you have a question, or
I see
we
her. I had to scroll a couple
okay,
times. She wants a reading with numerology, so I can pull up some things and then you
great.
can just dive
Okay,
in there and let me
great.
see if she said anything else too. Because I know she was up. Oh, she was saying hello and stuff. Okay, got it. All right. So I'm gonna go back to her numbers. There we go. Okay. A lot of paper rustling. All right. So 725 and then so 7. I'm just going to do some math. So just bear with me for 1 second and then okay, cool. So then one cycle. Oh, wow, okay. So your attitude is a 7. Yeah, that's no. Your attitude is a 5. See, my brain is going to melt. That's right. Your personal day is a 7 and your attitude is a 5. Okay, I just had to slow down my brain for a second. And then you're in a cycle of 3 right now. Okay. And so these are numbers that indicate how your life is going for the year, but also who you are just naturally as a person. So, Cara, I don't know if you've heard me read before with numerology. But with an attitude 5, that means that your mind's very busy, very, very busy. And like you're always going to be like diving into something. It's either you get bored easily or you're never bored because you're always stimulated because your mind is like, what can I grab onto? What can I grab onto? And things like travel are really important. And you will always learn best if you're hands on. Like you can't read it in a book solely for you to get the most out of things. Like 5 is a very airy number, but it's also a very physical number, and it's about like the senses, the five senses. It also showcased with what you do within life, you need to have actually changes within your career. Okay. Like, so if you're in the same job, you need advancements in your career because five is all about movement and expansion and freedom. And if you're in one place for too long, like let's say if it's a relationship even that doesn't fully serve you, you get super restless. If you're in a job that doesn't fully serve you, you'll get super restless and you'll actually start to feel like I'm not happy in life because you need to actually change things. You need to change things more than the average person, and you need to go at a faster speed more than the average person. So, grounding works very differently for you than it does another person. Also, you're in a cycle 3. So, I want to give this to you. It's going to be a very social forward year. So embrace that. When you do, you actually meet a lot of people that you gravitate to much easier. It opens up this space where you can find kindred souls, have more lifelong friendships, or have just really good experiences when you are a part of events or situations. Could be something even like a concert. You're just vibing everything more, and things are in flow with how you connect to others. 3 is also very fun and lighthearted um, vibration. So again, um, go out there, do more events where you're around music, comedy, entertainment, soak it up, and like just meet people, and that energy of friendship. You also can interview very well this year if you want to advance your career because communication is very flowing. I could say a lot, so I'm just going to say
Wow.
that, and I'm going to put it back to Cheryl.
Yeah, that is great, Kelly. And Cara, just another 1-minute thing to say to you is that you feel very clairvoyant, Cara. So I don't know if you know that, but it feels like you can see ahead or you have visions. I don't know if you daydream. Maybe you see flashes of light. Because I also felt your friend that has passed away shows you flashes. That's how I got stepped into clairvoyance with you, is that you see shiny, sparkly energies of light. So I'm just feeling you are probably clairvoyant if you didn't realize that. And you might look into that more. You could strengthen that or develop that.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. I think like just she's talked about how she's feeling a little stagnated with her career with her comment,
Mhm.
and
Mm.
like helping to open up the energy space, like get out there and have fun, and you're going to have more
Yeah.
spontaneous experiences with like seeing, right, and more validation because you're not so when stress inhibits our clairvoyant responses or
Yeah.
clairaudient responses, and when we're kind of just in the flow, we go, oh my gosh, this just happened, I don't know how it just happened, and I think it's gonna like ignite that more for her.
Yeah.
And then she says, love that I'm being socially forward, weird, but I've been feeling like a hermit the past couple years, but this year I've been feeling social.
Hey.
Well, that opens up the energy, and when we're clairvoyant, we have a tremendous opening up of energy within our system.
Yeah.
So I do think like she's on the precipice of more of that.
Wonderful. I
That's
love
why
that.
you're tapping into that, Cheryl.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks, Kelly. Well, you gave her a lot to work with today. So, Cara, you can go back and listen to this recording, the replay, and just to remember all that Kelly said for you, and because you definitely the social aspect, it's going to be for it's your year. It sounds like.
I also think so you were tapping into like her friend. You
Hmm.
mentioned that. And so I do think, you know, our childhood speaks a lot about her gifts, and I do think she was very imaginative as a child, and like she was very visual. So I think I'm just I'm just like tapping into all the things that
Yeah,
you're, right? And
yeah,
I was seeing
yeah.
like a teddy bear, and I don't know if that was like
Oh,
attached to, her friend you were bringing in, or just the fact that she's like really sentimental. But I was seeing this really special teddy bear, but I do think that was an aspect that's always been within her
I
as you
love
were
it.
talking.
I
So,
love it. I
oh,
love
she's asking you a question. Thanks, Cheryl. I do feel the clairvoyance. I don't know if I'm imagining stuff or not, but that was great validation. That's what she says.
I know. And when we don't know if it's our clairvoyance or if we're just imagining stuff, because we get this question. I know Kelly gets it a lot. Like, is it me or am I imagining it? Is it real? Is it really happening? We always say, I think Kelly would agree, ask for validation. Ask your guides and angels to send you a sign for validation. And you can even ask for the sign you'd like to receive. Try to do maybe something in general. So we just passed Valentine's Day, but we'll use the heart as an example, that red heart. Or we could use a yellow flower. We could just, try and change it up if you want. And so, for example, we'll make it a yellow flower because that's different from the heart from yesterday, Valentine's Day. But ask to see a yellow flower. Ask to see, like, I need to know that this is really happening, and make it simple. Don't make it so out of the ordinary. But really, you might even see when you go to the grocery store or some store, department store, even, you'll see this whole basket of yellow flowers, or you'll see a big item with yellow flowers all around it, or be open to however you can see that, because that will be validation from your guides and angels. And hopefully, you'll see it today because it's happening quickly, or you may see it in the next day or two. But keep an open mind. A lot of times we forget we even ask the question. So the spirit world, they're sending us signs all the time. We just forget we've asked for the question. So be open to that, Cara, because you're definitely connecting. And as Kelly said, it can be a really big ability that you can learn to express more and communicate with your guides more.
Absolutely. I'll say something really quick. One of the things that helped me understand that it wasn't my own imagination
Uh-huh.
was when I would get a thought in my head and I would literally think, like, why would I ever say that? Or like I would be like, that sounds stupid or that sounds silly, right? Why would I think that? And in the beginning, I used to think like I have really weird thoughts, right? And then I would start to understand through my intuition development that they actually weren't my thoughts. So
Mm.
a little story I have was I was in college, and someone had a bag of chips that they brought in during break, or it was like something in a bag, right? And I thought in my head like, oh, that looks really crunchy. And I'm like, that is the most generic thing. Like, why
Yeah.
am I thinking the word crunchy? Like, of course they look crunchy. Why was it ringing so loud in my head? Like, that's just weird. And so I didn't say anything because sometimes I would just go with it and just be like, oh, that was my thought. So it's going to pop out of my mouth. Those look crunchy. But I was like, no, don't say that. And then the person was like, oh, and I thought like another word like crispy and crunchy, right? And they're like, oh, these are so crispy and crunchy. And I was just like, oh my goodness. Okay. I'm understanding it on another level now, right?
What a great
Um,
example. Great example, Kelly. Yeah. Wow.
it's all crazy, right? You have to make sense of it. Thank you. You're up. We'll do one more. How about that?
Okay, let's do one more. And let's do Aspen only because, I used to live in Aspen, Colorado, and
Ooh,
I'd like to do Aspen's question. So is
you do
there
have Colorado energy.
do
I
I?
don't know if you told me that before, but yeah, you do
I
have
I
Colorado
love John
energy.
Denver. I grew up just loving John Denver, and I think that's why I'm drawn to Colorado. It has a very special place in my heart. Yeah. And I actually saw John Denver. I mean, I saw him do a few concerts out there and just lovely. Let's see. Is there a time? Aspen's asking, is there a time I would like some insight? Oh, if there's time, I'd like some insight on my father's situation. Appreciate you both. Thank you. Can you just kind of ask a little bit more about your father's situation? I do feel that there's a little bit of frustration around it, just to tell you, or there's some tension around it. And it feels like, Aspen, just to let you know that you're there for him. Like, you're there. I'm there. What can I do? How can I help? And that is, it's hard. It's hard to be there. But if you want to ask us a little bit more, yeah, legal situation, that helps a lot. I mean, it just because we are on a time, here we're doing mini readings. So if we had more time, maybe, but for today and for everyone listening, legal situation, he's alive in Peru. Let's see here.
Oh, interesting. Oh, they're connected. Yeah, that's kind of funny because they did feel similar. I was just thinking that. I
Oh,
didn't I didn't
oh.
know that was your sister. That's wow, interesting. Okay.
So I'll just tell you what I'm getting, Aspen. I feel like there's something about changing hands, like whether you have an attorney or someone representing him. I just felt paperwork uh, going into a new set of hands. That's how I present that information. Is something is not being clearly described, or something is not being clearly brought to the, like, something's not on the table. How's that? Something's not being made clear, and I almost feel that, I don't know if you're thinking of going there or traveling there, but I felt something about that. So you can let us know um, in the comments section, and then, but I do feel like there's a raw deal happening. I know, I just feel that I'm like, "Oh, he's getting, like, the raw end of the deal," or he's not, it's almost like something's not being clear. That's really the key here, Aspen, is we need to bring someone else in that can understand what's happening and make it more, open everything up. I just kinda keep seeing an unfoldment happening. Oh, yeah, and she goes, "Yes, she's in the process of getting passports."
Okay, yeah, there you go.
And
There you go.
Kelly, do you wanna add to that, or
Sure. I just feel like a lot of stuff. I feel like this is more of a difficult situation. So it's interesting, like she mentioned that the the previous father that was asked about happened to be her sister, because I was like, wow, that's just they feel so similar.
wow.
And I do feel like what I'm getting is there's a lot of energy around dad. And I just feel like dad's a little bit more of an impulsive person. Dad likes to puff his chest a little bit. And I believe I'm seeing him flip the coin, but I keep seeing this coin going up into the air, and it's like gambling. Like you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what's going to happen. And
Mm,
so for me, it's either that person likes to take risks and watch out, or there's just the situation is not clear. Like, you're taking a gamble kind of going into this. So there's something about that. And it's like your father is actually primarily leading the energy with how you're connected to this legal situation. Also, I got a symbol. Got a symbol, and it was like something was being siphoned off, like a bag was being constricted, and it was like an energy of something being cut off, something being cut off. So there's a lot of harsh energies in this legal case, if you can understand that. And so, okay, yeah, that's him. And I like with what Cheryl is talking about, how things are kind of not what they seem. There's that energy within play, and it's just like with your lawyer, like cross your T's, dot your I's, be like just very expect for something to be caught. Like you're just gonna have to catch things, right? Like, and they're not gonna be very apparent, and just keep yourself safe. Um, in a weird way, if you can understand this, I actually do think like this case, this legal issue is actually very good for your father. It's like gonna
mm,
ground him. It's gonna like total him and ground him. And
mm,
it's like a karmic, like he's really gonna understand um things a lot more differently and take responsibility for a lot of things more differently. I hope you understand that. Sometimes we go through these tsunamis in life, and it really changes who we are as a person. So there's the positive within that, but there's just like a lot of just heavy energy with it, if you can understand. I believe so. I guess I'm wondering the time frames on it all. I don't think this is going to be quick.
mhm. Yeah, I don't believe it's gonna be quick. I think it's important when you go out there, I believe you make an impact or you make a difference right away, but then there's also earth time, or there's divine time, and then there's earth time, and, sometimes moving slower can be the stronger way to go, or it can be the less stressful, when Kelly talks about stress, right? It can be making sure your T's are crossed, your I's are dotted.
Just don't. I would say, sure, there might be something that causes you to have urgency, but don't like I just don't think the legal part's gonna be quickly resolved. You know what I mean? So if
Mm,
you like are like, do I need to go to Peru? I don't know, just really think it through. Like, I'm not getting a hit on that. Just really think it through. Don't let this make you reactive. You know what I
Mm.
mean? But if you have to go, you have to go. But the actual like case and stuff, I just don't think gets resolved like quickly. So, and then there's just this energy of something being cut off, something being cut off. So things like that. A lot of healing for her.
Mm.
That,
Mhm.
just a lot of prayer, because you can't control this outcome. So a lot of prayer, a lot of faith, a lot of release work, a lot of family and self-release work regarding all of this.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
and
getting.
you're a good organizer, Aspen, so I feel like it's gonna your contribution is, and what you say definitely makes a difference, so it's gonna be a lot it's gonna be a lot of, good results having you there. That's what I mean by that. Yeah.
She says, "I
Mhm,
believe it. It may be his contact with communication with us, which is why I've been trying to tap into his higher self."
mhm,
Um, Yeah, it's just like you can't completely control what's going on. Don't be
mhm.
reactive, like center yourself. I don't know if you use like prayer beads or the rosary, but I just see like beads, like you counting beads, like center yourself. You got to tap into your higher self, and then you'll naturally get a hit on things from his higher self. You can't go to his higher self first. You have to go to yours. So I'm going to love and leave you with that. Cheryl, do you have
Yeah.
any?
No, that was beautiful. That was great. I think we covered a lot there, Aspen. Yeah. So
Absolutely.
blessings to you, Aspen, and to your sister and your dad.
To the fam, absolutely, absolutely. So Cheryl, so I want to um flow into, what do you have going on that people can find you and be a
Mhm,
part of? And
mhm.
also, like, if people want to contact you, how can
Yeah.
people find you
Ye
in that
Well, Kelly,
capacity?
people can find me on my website. I have a scheduling calendar, and I have a newsletter they can sign up for. That's mediumcheryl.com, where I can, send them, 5 videos on how to ignite to their own intuitive and psychic abilities. So sign up for my newsletter. I do have a couple of events I'd like to mention. I do have my healing prayer circle, which is every Sunday night. That's always free of charge to join. You can join through my website at mediumcheryl.com. But that healing prayer circle, it's every Sunday night at 6 p.m. Pacific. And then also on February 23rd, I have my small group reading event that's online. It's called Circle of Love, where I read for 8 people only. So please sign up for those. I try to do those every month, and sometimes I'll do them twice a month, just to kind of keep people. Really who need the reading to sit with me in a group. But also I do private readings, I do public readings. I'm doing readings by Zoom and phone right now, so if you'd like a private one-on-one reading with me, you can schedule that as well. And then in March 15th, I'll be doing a online demonstration of mediumship with Thomas John. So that's coming up March 15th. So that'll be a lot of fun. And that's a 2-hour event. And that's a large group audience reading. So, come one, come all. And, during that 2 hours, Thomas and I can really do a lot of readings and really try to create that healing atmosphere that the spirit world wants to send through their messages of love and support. And all of that information is on my events page on my website.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Also, what we like to focus on is putting, the focus, I'm saying focus a lot, putting attention on, our guest's wisdom. So is there a piece of inspiration or
Mhm.
feeling that you would like to share with everyone here, that's
Yeah.
been on your mind or heart?
Mhm. Well, you know what's been on my mind lately? It's really a couple of things quickly, and they're important. So, one is to be a prayer for someone else. We never know how we're helping people. So, go out into the world, and really, you never know when you send that level of intention of compassion to help someone else, you might be the answer to their prayer. But, you may never know that. But just continue to try to help others out. And secondly, gratitude. Just really start your day with gratitude for everything that you have in your life. Gratitude opens doors that open you up, open your intuition up. They open up your abilities to connect with your higher self. If you're ever having confusion, or if you're ever, have too much on your mind and you're looking to create space, just calm feeling. If you're ever feeling anxious, have gratitude. Always think of a few things that you're grateful for in that moment, and it'll kind of bring you back down to center. Yeah.
Gratitude will center you. You heard it from Beacon of Light, Cheryl. And please check out her events and website. And thank you so much for being with us here today, Cheryl.
Oh, it's such a pleasure. Thanks for having me, Kelly.
Anytime. With that said, please everyone go with love, light, luck, and laughter. Don't forget to live. We will see you on Friday. Take care. Bye.
The truth is here and now on WLTK-DB Talk Radio at WLTK-DB.com.